Welcome to a new scented video. In today's video we're going to have a look at 10 fragrances that are perfect for the summer. So if you're interested to see what fragrances I've picked for summer 2021, just keep watching. The summer is finally here, the temperatures are rising, sun is shining. It's time to take out of the cupboard those amazing summer fragrances that are fresh and keep you cool in the summer. I did last year in 2020 my summer list and I still stand behind my choices there. They are beautiful fragrances that I will continue to wear throughout this summer, but I wanted to give you some new choices and I'll try to not repeat myself as much as possible so that I can show you some new fragrances that I've added to my collection that are perfect for the summer. They are in no particular order and I have 10 of them. Let's get into it with the first one. The first fragrance comes to us from the house of Exuma and this one is called Velvet Cashmere or Cachemir. I don't know how to properly pronounce the name, but the fragrance was a complete and utter blind buy for me based on Fragrantica kind of comments and also how curious it made me feel. Immediately on the initial burst, this fragrance is gorgeous. Let's have a look again. The bottle is stunning and this fragrance was a real steal. I think I purchased it for about 38 euros or so. Very sturdy, really pretty also in real life, looks really luxurious. But what is the most important is the fragrance. The fragrance inside smells also incredibly elevated, round, sophisticated. And this one is a fresh but a little twist of spices and rose. So let's have a look at the notes in this fragrance and then we'll talk about how I feel about it. So we have on the top notes bergamot, cinnamon and rose, and in the heart we have cedar, amber and pepper. In the base we have vetiver, musk and patchouli. So the fragrance starts off with a very beautiful bergamot, kind of a rose combo with the pepper. You definitely feel the spices coming, but they are everything really nicely blended. This fragrance smells really expensive to me and really sophisticated. So the spices are there to add interest to the fragrance. We have depth from patchouli, but it does not smell like dirty patchouli at all. A little bit of woodiness, but all in all, incredibly sophisticated and it's a luminous fragrance, really. There is brightness to it, but there is also sensuality. The fragrance is super sophisticated to me and it's really versatile. You can wear it dressed up or dressed down. This fragrance is kind of like a easy reach for the summer, but it really smells way more fancy and expensive than the 38 euros that I paid for it. Cats are going crazy on the background here, so I tried to cut out this as much as possible. This fragrance was compared a lot to Shalimar in Fragrantica, and I can see why. We do have citruses, we do have cinnamon, and you can definitely have this Shalimar vibe with this one. I can see why this comparison is made, and this one is though a much more luminescent, much more bright and fresh, perfect for the summer. So if you're a fan of Shalimar, I think you will really like this one. And if you're not, if you like bergamot and spicy, kind of like a sensual but very fresh combo, I strongly recommend you try Exuma Velvet Cashmere. And I know that this is hard to find. I mean, it's not readily available. It's a bit like an indie house, but I'm very now curious after trying this, and I've checked out their website. This seems to be in their regular line, and then they do have a kind of like exclusive, a bit more. They were like 80 euro in the same bottle, and if this is their regular line, I'm really interested to see what they have in their exclusive line. Moving on to the next one. My next two fragrances will be from the same house, and this is the house that is kind of made for summer fragrances, really. This is Atelier Cologne and the fragrance is Orange Sanguine. I recently bought this bottle, got it secondhand, and I'm very happy that I managed to pick this up because I've had a little sample from it, I think like 5 ml, and I've been loving it since trying it. And this is perfect for the summer. This is like a fresh cocktail of orange, and I find what struck me like when I first sprayed it, a little herbaceous vibe, something like thyme in my brain. And I really like this subtle sweetness and herbaceous mixed with the zest. Let's have a look first at the notes of this one. So they are in the top, we have blood orange and bitter orange. So two different types of orange. We have geranium and jasmine in the middle, and sandalwood, amber and tonka in the base. And this is kind of really me of citrus, because I'm not really generally a citrus or a summer fragrance type of person, but when the summer comes, I like to have freshness, but I like a little bit of depth from something sweet to kind of balance the freshness and the citrus. And this is perfect because none of this is typically like a sour citrus. So we do have blood orange and we do have bitter orange, and the sweetness of the tonka with the sandalwood, they are very faint. So nothing really stands out. Mostly you get like an orange vibe, but there is this nice supporting background of something sweet to kind of hold the fragrance together. I don't really sense jasmine as such, and maybe geranium is there really kind of subtle. So maybe that is giving me this slight herbaceous vibe. So I really like this one. I don't find that it performs like super many hours, but I tend to kind of sense it on myself for a good 3-4 hours. And I know that Atelier Cologne are supposed to be kind of better performing citrus fragrances. And it is just so happy, this fragrance, when I spray it, I feel instantly like a boosted. This is like a mood booster. I find that it's just a sunshine in a bottle, and it does have this like a cocktail drink type of vibe about it. Yeah, so for me that's definitely something I will be reaching a lot in the summertime. My next Atelier Cologne is Clementine, California, and this one is in this stunning limited edition packaging, which is, I will be honest, I picked this up because of the bottle. I really like the vibe, and it just makes me think of summer. And let's have a little bit of a sniff. This is also a burst of citruses and freshness. Instantly you feel refreshed, and that's what we want in the summer, isn't it? Especially today. I mean, it's hot and it's beautiful, but you also kind of feel gross at the same time, and this kind of fragrance really elevates you. Beautiful. Let's have a look at the notes. We have clementine, mandarin orange, juniper berry. In the middle we have basil, star anise and pepper, and in the base we have cypress, vetiver and sandalwood. So this one significantly less kind of sweet and more herbaceous, fresh, and you can sense that there's a lot more citrus going on here in terms of like sour citruses. And this the pepper, I don't really sense a ton of pepper, but it keeps it kind of bright and gives it a little bit of a kick. Anise, I don't smell anise, luckily, because I'm not such a fan, but I can sense the basil in there. So herbaceous and citrusy, that's all I'm getting from this one. Less sweet than orange sanguine, more of a kind of a boost of zestiness type of fragrance. I look at the Atelier Cologne fragrances like a little bit of a cocktails. Imagine having like a nice fresh uplifting gin and tonic type of thing when it's really hot. This is how I feel about them. They really perk you up and brighten your day. So definitely be wearing this one a lot. Speaking of cocktails, the next fragrance is by Guerlain and is Limon Verde. I like to refer to this fragrance as a mojito, but without the alcohol and with a little bit of like a coconut vibe. The entire Aqua Allegoria line is really beautiful. I got this one because I found it on a really cheap price, and that's how I end up with this particular fragrance, but I do like so many of them and they're all perfect for the summer. So let's have a look at the notes in this one. We do have lime on the top. Perfect start for a cocktail. We do have green notes in the middle, fig, sugar cane, tropical fruit and tonka bean in the base. Quite unusual kind of a roundup in here. I don't seem to find a lot of sweetness as much as the notes tend to suggest, because sugar and tonka, I don't find it to be a very sweet fragrance. But one thing, I do get a lot of zest from the lime. The green notes are there as well. and the fig is giving a certain like a milkiness to this composition, so it gives it a little bit of that coconut vibe that I'm talking about. And it just like a lime coconut mojito. It is really refreshing, and it lasts pretty well as well. For I think that the base of this is quite sufficient, and the fig is making this really kind of noticeable throughout the day, so it doesn't fizz away like a citrus. I really like this one, and if you're craving a mojito, definitely have a look at Limon Verde. Continuing the delicious summer cocktail type of scents, we do have Xerjoff, Dolce, Amalfi, and this one to me is an absolutely the definition of a juicy fragrance, something very mouth-watering and delicious for the summer. The notes in here are also very intriguing. We have on the top quince, cardamom, apple and saffron. In the middle we have cloves, tolu balsam, incense, and in the base we have vanilla, tonka, amber, cedar and musk. Looking at the notes, they're all very dense and spicy, so you would expect like probably quite a rich perfume from this note, but in fact it is an incredibly delicious fruity fragrance with a bit of a kick of a spice, but altogether to me this fragrance is perfect for the summer, and it's a very light, happy, uplifting sunshine type of scent. What you find here immediately is that there is a very prominent and very photorealistic note of quince. I will spray some more because I just can't get enough of this fragrance. We do have the bright, very ripe and tart and sweet at the same time quince, and then you have the backdrop of these spices. And I don't find any incense in here or tolu balsam, you know, nothing really heavy. It is just full body juicy scent. It's like a squeezed juice, and it is just like a drink of incredibly delicious and exotic cocktail. For me, this is an instant mood booster. It's a sunshine in a bottle. You spray it. I mean, it exactly smells the way that the bottle looks. To me, this is kind of the mood that this fragrance brings to me, and it is absolutely perfect in the summer. I've been spraying this a lot today and reminded how delicious it is. It is the perfect time to wear this fragrance, so for me this is a definite standout and a must-have or a must-try for the summer. Twist this time. This is Inlay by Memo, and I have been talking about this house and this fragrance quite a bit on my channel. I hope I will not repeat myself too much for those of you who have seen, but honestly, what a beauty. This fragrance is kind of really a chameleon, and sometimes I get to smell more citrus and sometimes it's about the tea. So let's have a look at the notes here. We have bergamot, mint and artemisia on the top. In the middle we have osmanthus, mate tea, jasmine and spices, and in the base we have iris, musk and cedar. This fragrance is kind of a lot going on, but at the same time incredibly airy, very light. It's like a cloud, you know, the clouds on the bottle. Like, I mean, the bottle is stunning, first of all. This one is like an airy cloud of citruses and osmanthus, like blossom in the air. And you do have the earthiness though from the tea, and there's spices, and overall really kind of grounded in a way. So it later on when it develops you get more of the tea aspects and the earthiness, but it never gets really earthy because you do have this nice bright aspect of this fragrance that stays bright all the way through. So it's really refreshing. It's not overall sweet. I do really like it. I find it's a pick-me-up fragrance and a really happy, carefree fragrance. So if you're looking for something like that, and you will always feel clean and fresh with this one without being scrubby or soapy, just a very carefree, happy, bright blue sky type of scent, but it's not a citrus scent only, so it's much more interesting than straight up citrus fragrance because you have tea, you have white floral, you have jasmine, a little bit of cedar, and a little bit of, you know, the herbs. So this fragrance overall a very happy cloud of freshness. Inlay by Memo. I think the next fragrance will make a nice bridge in between the two categories, so kind of a citrusy and then a little bit on the soapy, more sophisticated side. We do have Chanel Paris Venice from the Ux line, and this is perfect for the summer. This whole line is very light. You need to reapply, they don't last terribly long time, but you do get a 125 ml, so quite a bit. Beautiful atomizer, you know, Chanel vibes, so you know it's gonna be really sophisticated. And this fragrance is just perfect. I've been wearing it quite a bit for this like a hot weather, but if you do like still a little bit of sweeter fragrances. So this one has a lot going on. On the top it starts off with like a citrus, bright citrus. We have orange, lemon, petitgrain, bergamot and pink pepper. In the middle we have iris, neroli, ylang ylang rose and geranium, and in the base we have tonka, vanilla, white musk, orris, violet and benzoin. So lots of notes, and they are really kind of supporting each other in this one, really well blended to create this kind of a little bit powdery, a little bit soapy, but a bit sophisticated, and the citrus still at the same time. So it's very, again, cloudy, very airy, very thin, but it does have this slight powdery vibe, and it is because of the iris in here, and there is a violet also in the base, so we are getting this overall vibe. So it makes it very kind of like a hug, a little bit lotiony as well. Really likable fragrance and very easy to wear as well, because this one can be worn dressed up or dressed down. If you're going out just to run some errands, you will feel very put together, but also if you're going in an office or something, you will be definitely smelling very well suited for this, rather than having like a beach fragrance. So this one is perfect for the summer, but very much kind of a versatile fragrance. Not gonna lie, I do love the bottle. I mean, Chanel aesthetic always gets me. I think that's part of the charm in here, but the fragrance itself also very good. 2 thumbs up for Paris Venice by Chanel. This next fragrance can be a Chanel by the way it makes me feel, and this is Terry de Gunzburg and Soleil Piquant. This fragrance has kind of the je ne sais quoi that Chanel fragrances do have. A little bit soapy, kind of let's have a look at the notes, and then once this is dried I will tell you what I think. The notes are very interesting, and it is what kind of prompted me to buy this fragrance. It was a blind buy. Orange blossom, almond blossom, iris, mandarin, cactus flower, bergamot, gaiac wood, vanilla, patchouli and vetiver. Very interesting combination. Having the cactus flower was totally what sold it to me, and I was very alarmed by the gaiac wood because it could go either way. Patchouli as well. I do get a lot of brightness and kind of a citrus vibe in the beginning with the bergamot and the cactus flower. Those two are really bringing the greenness and kind of a citrusy zestiness. But immediately you do get the orange flower there, so it is not a sweet orange blossom kind of type, but immediately I think the vetiver is grabbing the fragrance, and the base is working to keep it kind of like a little bit soapy as an overall feel. There is patchouli, but this fragrance is overall very, very clean. It almost could be a soap fragrance, but it's a very expensive soap. As I said, it could be a Chanel. That's how it makes me feel, and it performs really well. It melts into the skin, and I've been wearing this to, for example, going to a Pilates workout, and I smell amazing throughout the whole time. I'm like, I smell the best. Like, it works very well with the body chemistry. So I think for the summer, this one will keep you feeling fresh and like really sophisticated. Same thing goes, what I said, that it could be dressed up or down. Overall, very sophisticated scent, so it's perfect for more like a formal, if you go into an office, for example. I don't know who does nowadays, but if you want to feel put together and just really presentable, this one, I can't stop smelling it. It is not my typical scent because it's very clean, but this one, for some reason, I find it really works very well with my chemistry. Once again, Soleil Piquant by Terry de Gunzburg. Now we are in the soapy territory. Please don't run. This one is beautiful. It is Dali Eau de Toilette by Salvador Dali. I really like this one. I'm shocked that I do like it as much as I do because I'm not like a soap type of scent fan. This, however, reminds me a lot of Dia by Amouage, which also didn't expect to like. There is certain sophistication, femininity about this one, such a lightness. And this fragrance is a little bit soapy to me, but also creamy in a way. Let's have a look at the notes. We have on the top African orange flower, tangerine and bergamot. In the middle we have jasmine, magnolia and rose. And in the base we have musk, woods and vanilla. Very cloudy, transparent, sophisticated, clean without being scrubby in any way. While the previous fragrance was kind of like a soap bar type of scent, this one is more of a soap lather. So imagine you have rubbed it with water in your hands and created lots of bubbles. This is what you will get, like a cloud of powdery, beautiful, clean, sweet, feminine. And by sweet, I don't mean in any way sugary, but kind of very rounded and comforting in a way. It's like a clean hug, this fragrance, and I really like it for the summer and spring because it does give you the clean feel, but also kind of a little bit of a powdery, a little bit relaxing as well. Once again, this one is Salvador Dali, Dali Eau de Toilette. We have two more fragrances to go. This one, the next one is Choeur des Anges by Atelier Versace, and this one I didn't know exactly where to place it. It would have gone like better with maybe this a little bit cocktail type of fragrances, but because this one is more kind of stronger and it would go really well even as an evening fragrance in the summer, I put it here. Once again, let's appreciate the beauty of this bottle. I can never get enough of the beautiful gold flakes that are dispersed in this. But onto the scent itself, because it's also worth talking about. So let's have a look at the notes. On the top we have blood orange, pear and blackcurrant. In the middle we have osmanthus, carrot seeds and orange blossom, and in the base honey, amber and cedar. And this honeyed orange blossom flower with a little bit of a bitter orange zest is all I'm getting in this one. Incredibly happy. This fragrance is bright, is round, is rich at the same time. So it manages to have depth and substance and contain this brightness all the way through. So you do have what I'd like to think of a sweet and sour combination in here. Lots of honey. So think about florals dipped in honey and then sprinkled with like a orange zest. In this case we have blood orange. So incredibly feminine, happy and honeyed fragrance. Honey is what comes to me the most. It lasts very well on me, and also I think for that reason, because it projects quite well, it would be good also as an evening summer scent. Very uplifting, and overall for me this is like happiness in a bottle. My last fragrance is something that I would reserve for evenings in the summer, and this is Ambre Merveilles by Hermes. And this fragrance is something that I've kind of struggled to place in my collection when I would wear it, and I find that actually this fragrance is perfect for the summer in the evening because it is an amber fragrance overall, but it does have this watercolor feel of the Hermes fragrances. So it's incredibly transparent and light. And if you wear this in the winter, you would wonder why it doesn't perform. This fragrance have only 4 notes. We have amber, vanilla, labdanum and patchouli. They all seem very dense materials, and I just don't know how they made it because this fragrance is incredibly transparent and light. It's like a cloud of amber sunlight. What this kind of reminds me is, imagine you've been on the beach all day soaking up the sun and your skin is warm, but also you have the saltiness from the sea that is mixing and warming up together onto the skin. So this is the vibe that I'm getting from this one. Really warm, round, rich and airy at the same time. For the longest time I've been like struggling to find its place in my collection and kind of blaming it for its performance, but I've truly come to appreciate it in the warmer months when I'm not looking for this dense feeling on my skin and like the coziness of the scarf scents. I'm looking for something airy, but this one gives me the feeling of coziness without choking me out. So once again, Amber Merveilles by Hermes. This was all for me for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and make sure to check my other video for summer fragrances of 2020, where I listed also 10 fragrances. I still stand by my choices, so have a look if you're looking for recommendations for nice summer fragrances. And let me know in the comments what will you be wearing this summer. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye!